In the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis tells us a story for four kids: Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. In this short story, with the 17 chapters, C.S. Lewis starts telling that the four kids lived their home, and they was lived in the place, and this place was a wall there. Their parents, they sent them out of the city to I think the house of one of the house of the family. It's a professor. The old professor, he lived in a big house alone, just with the housekeeper named Mr. McCrory, and with their other servicing called Ivy and Margaret and Petey. All adventure starts when Lucy and her brothers and sister decide to play hide and seek inside this house. Lucy went to a big room and she finds the wardrobe inside, and she decided to hide inside this wardrobe. When she went inside the wardrobe, she saw herself in the forest covered with snow. Furthermore, she met a creature named Mr. Thomas, and he said that he was a fan, and explained to her that she was in Narnia. The place was in Narnia. Mr. Thomas speak about the witch that claimed herself the Queen of Narnia. When Lucy went back home, she told her siblings about Narnia and Mr. Thomas, but no one believed on her.
And she was so sad until her brother Edmund went into the wardrobe too. But Lucy didn't knew that Edmund met the witch, and that she told him to bring the rest of his siblings. C.S. Lewis also says that when the kids were trying to hide from Mr. McGrady, they went into the wardrobe and they went to explore, and Lucy told them to go visit Mr. Thomas. But when they went there, the witch had sent an order to arrest Mr. Thomas because he had been with human. Then the kids met a beaver who take them to his house and told them about prophecies and talked about the king of Narnia named Aslan.
When they finished their conversation, they noticed that Edmund disappeared. And right after Mr. Beaver said that Edmund went to meet the White Witch.
And he was right.
When Edmund met the White Witch, she was so mad at him because she thought that he didn't brought his siblings.
Edmund told her what he heard on the beaver's house. Then the witch went after the other kids. When Mr. Beaver tried to take the kids to the stone table to meet Aslan, the Father Christmas appeared and gave presents to the beavers and the kids, Peter, Susan, and Lucy. Furthermore, the kids met Aslan, and when Peter were talking with Aslan, he heard a scream. Far, far away, it was Susan. Then he ran, and when he saw that a wolf was trying to attack Susan, Peter drew the sword and attacked the wolf. And after that, Aslan sent the other soldiers to find Edmund. The soldiers rescued Edmund, and the witch cast a spell so the soldiers couldn't find her. The author explained that the witch went to talk to Aslan because of the deep magic.
Says that any traitor should do by her hand.
And she said that Edmund's blood belonged to her. Aslan talked with the witch alone. When they finished their chat, Aslan said that Edmund was safe. And he also said that they should move the camp. So, in the night that they moved the camp, Aslan left the camp, but Susan and Lucy followed him. When he noticed, he told that they could go with him, but when he said stop, they needed to obey and go back, and they agreed. When Aslan left the two girls, he went straight to the table stone, where the white witch were waiting for him with her creature, yellow creatures. The witch killed Aslan. When the witch and the creature left the table stone, the girls went to see Aslan, who was dead, and they were so sad. And when they were leaving the table stone, the table broke and Aslan was alive again. He explained that when an innocent died, the stone table broke and the creature is resurrected. Then Susan and Lucy and Aslan went to the witch castle to save the other creatures that were transformed into stone by the witch.
Aslan saved them with their brother. When Aslan and the girls went back, the war already started and many creatures were hurt. But even though they win.
Hi. So Abdullah, just see this book that we just read is so interesting. It has like a great story.
Yeah.
What do you think about
I
it?
totally agree with you because even though I saw the movie, that's I think 10 years ago, and when I wrote this book, there's a lot of details inside this book. It's totally different from the movie as I saw.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that I could add more content in the book. In my opinion, I could like give the book more characters. And you see?
More characters.
Yeah, like more creatures from fairy tales, not just fauns and dwarfs, and yeah, I would give like fairies, and to make the book more interesting, I would like describe more the action scenes. You see, I would describe more the way the characters felt. Yeah, and what do you think?
In my opinion, I think the book, when the writer starts the book, when he writes this book, he starts with the real story, like a family in the war, and it was a real. There was a bombing the London, and there are many kids. They sent it out. This was real. And when the writer starts to put something it's not real, like a fancy, like that, now everything's changed from reality to something fancy or like that. I like this how he transferred from reality world to fancy. I like this.
Yeah, and just to agree with you, I think like this change give like an alternative life, an alternative reality to maybe children. We're talking about maybe adults. Yeah, to think that there is another world that you can run from this. You see, and something interesting that made me like love this book. It's even when you spend a lot of time inside of that wardrobe. When you come out, it's the same time that you came in. Yeah, and it's so great. And
Yeah, I think so also. And what the other things? I think the other thing that like you said, I want to add something action because this book it was for teenagers. And the teenagers like actions. They didn't like just stories, novels. They like actions in the story. Even though this book they have some actions, but in my opinion, if he or she, who wrote it? I know he. Okay. If he wrote many actions or actions stories, it's kind of bad. This is my opinion.
so,
That's all.
my classmates, this was our opinion.
Yeah.
And advice I give to you is like read the book and just enjoy each chapter because it's interesting.
Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
I'm Abdullah.
And I'm Leah.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.